And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. That's Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glories to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, whose name means He is, He exists, whom this world ignorantly calls God. Bahashem, that means in the name of Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is who this world ignorantly calls Jesus, all in the Harakah Kodash, which is the Spirit Holy. Double honors to the elders, apostles, elder apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone, ruling well, teaching His truth on the highways and hedges, risking their lives and freedom to do so. Shalom to the sincere brethren out here pushing His truth to the four winds of the earth. All right, there'll be so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those of you who look at the other nations but go back to the lineage of Jacob. All right, and a few sisters listening and learning in silence, as the scriptures say to do. It's your brother Tassad Ban Yahweh and Abarat Tazah. Lord's willing, this lesson is edifying. Before we get into it, I must declare fair use. Fair use.
Yeah, it was a deadly virus spread by field mice in the southwestern United States several years ago.
According to the newspaper, FEMA was called out to manage an outbreak of the Hanta virus. Are you familiar with what the Federal Emergency Management Agency's real power is? FEMA allows the White House to suspend constitutional government upon declaration of a national emergency. Think about that. What is an agency with such broad sweeping power doing managing a small viral outbreak in suburban Texas?
You're saying it wasn't such a small outbreak?
No. I'm saying it wasn't the Hanta virus.
Well, what was it? What was it?
When we were young men in the military, your father and I were recruited for a project. They told us it was biological warfare, a virus.
What killed those men?
What killed them, I won't even write about. We have no context for what killed those men, or any appreciation of the scale at which it'll be unleashed in the future.
A plague?
The plague to end all plagues, Agent Mulder. A silent weapon for a quiet war. The systematic release of an indiscriminate organism for which the men who will bring it on still have no cure. They've been working on this for 50 years. While the rest of the world have been fighting gooks and commies, these men have been secretly negotiating a planned Armageddon.
Negotiating with whom?
I think you know.
All right, so there you have it. That was a clip from an episode of The X-Files that was aired over 20 years ago. All right, so, I do believe it's a form of predictive programming, and the thinking goes as far as predictive programming, it could be a way to disclose something, quote unquote, scary to people, like, say, the existence of aliens, without exactly panicking the population. All right, give people a few years of alien encounter movies, and then when you tell them that it's real, they'll be ready to believe and accept it. But brothers in the faith, we know that aliens are actually angels. It's not exactly, it's not a bad thing. If you think about it, you got the left hand angels, and of course you got the right hand angels that stand for righteousness. Okay, and that's according to the scriptures. All right, so this predictive programming, or this Hanta, is shaping up to become a pestilence, man, and whether it be man-made or by nature. We know Esau, so the so-called YT man, okay, that runs the YT house. He is the Edomite, the biblical Edomite, and so you got to know that they're pretty much influenced and inspired by Satan to pretty much wreak havoc on the planet. They live by the sword, aka conquest. All right, so their mission is to steal, kill, and destroy. So, they don't fall short of their mark. All right, they meet their quotas, so to say. Okay, so let's break down the term hantavirus. Now, it comes from the word hantan, and that refers to a supposedly it refers allegedly refers to a river in South Korea. This is what I'm finding, right? So it says a common term used in biology to describe viruses is a common term used in biology to describe infectious agents that can replicate only inside of living cells. So it needs a host, like a parasite, right? Like the Edomite, they need a parasite. The Amalekites, they need a host to live off of, to thrive on, to subject. This is the nature of the Edomite is the virus, right? Literally in and of itself. But I digress. It says these are the symptoms of hantavirus. They include fever, muscle aches, fatigue, gastrointestinal issues like nausea and diarrhea, so they give you the shits, which can progress to severe respiratory problems. All right, sound familiar, right? 2020, there was something going on, that had everything to do with the Johns Hopkins University, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Fauci, the Democrat and the Republican Party, right? They all had a hand in it. Wuhan, China. It was a concerted effort from the powers that be. All right. So it said transmission can primarily occur through contact with infected rodent urine, so rat piss. Okay, rat droppings or saliva. All right. That sounds like something like the bubonic plague, right? From back in the day, like the thing that wiped out and eradicated the indigenous. So it's something that these Edomites, so-called white people got knowledge of, okay, prior to going into this, and all of a sudden it's just springing back up, right? Once again, this episode X-Files aired 20 years ago, and they mentioned it, right? So I came across it, somebody shared it, and I was like, oh, this is the lesson right here. It says this is just like the historically confirmed biblical judgments, all right? So if you recall, ancient Egypt, Assyria, and Babylon, they were all judged primarily for their idolatry, right? Which is oppression as well, oppression of the Israelites, of course. It says, and rejection of Yahweh, right, as depicted in various biblical texts. If we look at Jeremiah 22 and 13, let's go there. 22 and Slakia. 22 and 13. Slakia, hold on. Get some water. Agua. Or said, woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness. Yeah, man. Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness, and his chambers by wrong, that useth his neighbor's service without wages. What did they get out of our ancestors? All right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they got free labor out of you by enslaving you and didn't pay you nothing. All right? For what, 400 years? At least 400 years. Right? Because if you really look at it, it's still slavery right now. Right? They really just leasing your services. And it really means, like, if you think about it, if you haven't gotten more than $1,000 saved up, guess what? You work for free. You literally work for free. It says that useth, woe to him that buildeth his house, right? He's rich, he's wealthy, right? He got stocks and yachts and all this stuff, but we don't envy the oppressor, of course, but we know how he got it. He got it through theft, right? It says, and his chambers by wrong, right? That useth his neighbor's service without wages, and giveth him not for his work. That's exactly what's going on. All right, in Babylon the Great, aka America. All right, so the Bible prophesies that Babylon the Great, aka America, will face ultimate judgment for its wickedness and rebellion against Yahweh, the Most High Power. All right, leading to its complete and utter destruction, as foretold in the Book of Revelation. All right. Before we get there, because we're gonna get there, let's look at let's go to the Book of Habakkuk real quick. Let's see, hold on. Habakkuk, depending on how you pronounce it. Book 2, and let's see, chapter 12. Verse 12. Salakia. And what does it say right there? Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establisheth a city by iniquity, right? So by wrongdoing, by blood, like shedding blood. Esau, Edomites, the Idumeans, the Rome, all of them, they rule. They built towns by conquest, by blood, because they lived by the sword. You see, you know, and in America, it's also known. It's known spiritually as Egypt because of that bondage. Known spiritually as Sodom because of the debauchery. All right, and it's also known as the well-favored harlot. Let's look at some of the other descriptions of Babylon the Great in the book of Revelation. Let's go to 17. That's a heavy one. Revelation 17, I'm begin at verse 5. It say, and upon her forehead was a name written, mystery. Okay, Babylon the Great, right? The mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. So let's go to tools real quick, and we're going to look at the word mystery. Upon her forehead was a name written, right? Because this is the image that Apostle John saw on the island of Patmos as a mystery or a vision of America. I don't know why this happened. But let's go ahead and click on it. The mystery. So 3466. Mysterion. In the Strong's Info, it says, a secret, a mystery through the idea of silence imposed by initiation into religious rites. So you know how they got secret societies? You know you got to be initiated in order to understand what's going on. America in and of itself is like a secret society, like a crypto society. This is why, you know, they're going into cryptocurrency. They're trying to lead the pack. Right? Initiation into religious rites. Their belief systems is not what they promote it to be. Neither is the small hats who practice the Talmud. They don't really practice the Torah, and they don't believe in Yahweh Shai. Alright? But the word is mysterion, hidden thing, secret, mystery. Generally, mysteries, religious secrets, right? They do a lot of wicked things secretly, man. The Epstein thing exposed their religious ways. Religious are just like beliefs. You know, but there's our secret. There's like mystery, right? It says a hidden or secret thing, not obvious to the understanding, right? So, yeah, mystics, all right. So it says of an image or form seen in a vision, all right, mystery. Let's go back. So like if I hacked that understanding up, brother could correct me, put up a video, and I'll accept the correction. No big deal. All right. These scriptures are a big deal, though. You know, it's nothing to be taken lightly, obviously. All right. So verse 6, it says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. It's a key point, right? America, Babylon has been oppressive to our people. You know, have slain our people. That we are the slain of Yahweh Shem Shai. Those of us that have perished and are, quote unquote, asleep in the Lord. Okay. It says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahweh Shai. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. All right, so in the NLT, I'm going to read verse 6 again. Let's do that. Revelation 17. All right, slide, bear with me. Just a sec. In verse 6, and it reads, I could see that she was drunk with the blood of Yahweh's holy people who were witnesses for Yahweh Shai. All right, so the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy, right? So this prophecies is coming true in the Edomites, so-called YT man, the devil on the earth. He get pissed off because he's being revealed. Like it's literally shameful spewing on his so-called glory. It says, I stared at her in a complete amazement, and the angels said to John, like, why are you so amazed? You know what I'm saying? Like, all these prophecies and stuff like that, and all the stuff Yahweh Shai told you. He's like, why are you amazed? The angel asked. He said, I will tell you the mystery of this woman and the beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns on which she sits. All right, so the beast, the ancient beast, the first beast was the ancient Roman Empire. Get that established in your mind first and foremost, right? The beast was the ancient Roman Empire. The 10 horns represent North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is NATO. I'm going to take you to Revelation 13. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to start at verse 11. Watch this. This is the beast out of the earth, right? It says, then I saw another beast come up out of the earth. He had 2 horns, like those of a lamb, but he spoke with the voice of a dragon, right? And it's like symbolic for the Baphomet, right? At the same time, but it's manifold, right? So, and that's the second beast, obviously, because it say another beast, right? So the first one is what? The ancient Roman Empire, all right? Verse 12, he exercised all the authority of the first beast, right? So all the old Roman, and Babylonian customs, they practice here as well. They got baby laws. If you're a baby, they give you a social, birth certificate, so on and so forth. And they have the same type of statutes. And if you go to the House of Representatives and look, they got the fasci, which is like the hatchets in the bundle, right? In the bundles on either side of the Speaker of the House. Also, something else that mirrors old Rome, ancient Rome, is the fact that they use the eagle as one of their symbols. Go look it up. You can't make this stuff up. It says he exercised all the authority of the first beast, and he required all the earth and its people to worship the first beast, right? So the ancient ways of the Romans, they are requiring people, they're doing it now, right, to worship the first beast in that sense. It says whose fatal wound had been healed. All right, that's not the end. It's not the end of it, because it's gonna get worse. It says he did astounding miracles, even making fire flash down to earth from the sky, while everyone was watching. All right, so they got missiles now. You know, Esau, he lived by the sword, right? So this is what Satan on the left hand side gave them weapons of war like that. Advanced from the sword to the gun, or to the missile. Okay, now it's ICBM. I did a video yesterday. Turkey, they got their first ICBM. I don't even know if I put the video up yet, but I got it on my phone. But I'm gonna share that today for sure, if I haven't. Revelation 13 and 14 says, and with all the miracles he was allowed to perform on behalf of the first beast, right? He deceived all the people. He deceived all the people who belong to this world, right? So it says he ordered the people to make a great statue of the first beast who was fatally wounded and then came back to life. All right, so that great statue is talking about the image in the KJV. I like the KJV better, but this is all right too, as long as you get the understanding. Verse 15 says, he was permitted to give life to this statue, right, the image, so that it could speak. This is where the NLT goes off. It says, then the statue of the beast, or the image of the beast, commanded that anyone refusing to worship it must die. All right, so I like this one right here, this precept, but I'm gonna get it in the KJV. All right, Salakia. It's kind of already locked in on 13. I'll pull it up a lot, and it is necessary because it must come out in every lesson, because that's a very, very important prophecy for the true man of the Lord, true men of Yahweh Shemai Shai. Got to bring this out and break it down correctly, so you have an understanding of what's to come. Verse 15, once again, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. See that? The KJV is what's up, man. It says that the image of the beast shall both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast shall be killed. It's manifold because they got the AI now, technocracy. For example, there's a movie called Mercy, MERCY, and it depicts like an AI judge. Okay, for their purpose of plausible deniability. They want to be able to govern with data scientists and data centers spitting out an algorithm that's going to make judgment calls as opposed to them, and them being held liable. And how the scriptures are talking about the Edomites. The Heavenly Father have indignation against them, and they're going to be judged. Well, they're trying to run from that judgment by propping up an image of the old Roman system by pushing it through the AI to do the talking and stuff like that for them. Because if they're found doing these things. They feel like they're not going to be able to escape judgment, so they're putting up the AI robots and all that to try to circumvent or sidestep the judgment that's coming to them. See, these people are very, very cunning. Right? They use very sophisticated means of trying to, like I said before, circumvent or sidestep these prophecies, man, because they know about the true men of Yahweh Shema Shai speaking his truth, and they're getting scared, man. They're being tormented by this truth, right? It's like a consuming fire. All right, verse 16 says to Satan, it says, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, that to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right, so that's all people, no matter your political or financial status, you're going to, he's going to cause you, right? And causation is basically through manipulating everything surrounding it and causing it, on purpose. It's like setting a snare, setting a trap for people to walk into, like they would have no choice, right? Like this conflict, right? Armageddon, Armageddon, and it is a situation that has a domino effect, whereas markets are affected, right? Literally, stock markets, grocery stores, shelves is suddenly going to appear empty. Gas prices are going to increase. You're going to see hyperinflation. So hyperinflation is a cause for distress, and who's causing it? Okay, your so-called wicked rulership. All right, it says verse 17, Salakia. It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. See, that's a key indicator right there. Speaking of key, that key is an implantable microchip. That's the size of a grain of rice that's going to be implanted in people's right hand or their forehead, pursuant to the 16th verse, Salakia. Right? It's implantable, and it's going to go on people's right hand and foreheads. The devil's going to cause that to happen. Okay, you just watch. It's going to happen. This is in short order. It's coming soon, man. They already got the smart contracts that are the backbone of the payment rail system for cryptocurrencies, which means hidden once again, going to America with in bitterness, man. They'll be able to control what you can spend, and what you have in your wallet. Be able to take out your taxes instantly. Be able to stop you from buying things. There's total control, total domination of your so-called livelihood, and inside that chip is going to be little metadata. Metadata is like a tiny, it's like important information, but it's going to be inside of the data, inside the chip, that's going to be implanted in people's wrists. Right? It says where it says or the name of the beast. That's what's going to be on the chip, and the number of his name. Right? So that's what's going to happen. The word karax is the root word for karagma, which means the mechanism for injecting the mark, the badge of servitude, right, to serve Satan. That's what it is. So you don't want to take that mark, man. Revelation 14. Before we get there, NATO and the European Union, the Tin Horns, are fed up. Basically, they'll be fed up. They're fed up now with the United States playing the harlot and fornicating so vigorously with the whiny, blood-drinking, baby-unaliving, you wish professional crisis actors. You dig what I'm saying? Revelation 17:16 in the NLT, it reads, the scarlet beast and his 10 horns all hate the prostitute. They will strip her naked, eat her flesh, and burn her remains with fire. Let me show you the ICBM that Turkey just produced. Ain't she a beaut? Yeah, man, that's it right there. They call it, I forget, they call it the Warhammer or something like that. They showcased it at a weapons expo recently. So they just unveiled it. It got a capability to reach the continental United States, man. I read the book of Joel. Hold on, let me get that. As you all know, if you're really in this truth, you really a history buff. You know that Turkey has always been considered one of the weaker nations. All right, but Joel 3:10 says, in these times, said, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And that's exactly what you see happening, man. These shall hate the whore, man. The EU and NATO and all these people that's against United States, man. All right, that's righteous judgment, man. Okay, to burn this place with fire. Isaiah 66:23. Let's get that real quick. And it reads, "All humanity will come to worship me." This is the future part. This is what's going to happen. All right, all humanity will come to worship me from week to week and from month to month, or Shabbat to Shabbat. All right, and this is Yahweh speaking. Okay, through the prophet Isaiah. All right, verse 24 says, "And as they go out, they will see the dead bodies of those who have rebelled against me." All right, so all you rebellious, you Edomites, you heathen nations, you 2/3 Negro, Latino, Native Americans, y'all rebels, you know, this is what's going to happen, man. It says, "For the worms that devour them will never die, and the fire that burns them will never go out. All who pass by will view them with utter horror." All right, so with that being said, Lord's willing is edifying. To the next one, Abba Ball. To our people, Kwame Yasha Allah. To the next one, Shalom.